Welcome. In this training, we're going to explore the signs that it might be time for you to leave your job. This is your permission slip to start looking for a better, more fulfilling opportunity if any of what I'm about to say resonates with you and makes you go, oh my God, that is me. Now, if after watching this you do go, yeah, I think I need to find something different, then at the end of the video, we're also going to look at the action steps that you need to take to leave with intention and in a way that doesn't force you to quit your job with no idea what to do next, no plan, and a load of anxiety. We're going to help you quit with intention in a way that feels good. Now, alongside this video, you also have a workbook. So if you're really serious about figuring out if a career change is the right thing for you, if you do need to change your job, then after you've watched this video, go through the workbook, answer the questions there, and go through the steps to take action on what to do next. So let's get started. So the first sign is that you've outgrown the company and you just don't want to move up in the company anymore. You don't want to get promoted. You don't want your boss's job. Now, this is normal, just like in friendships, relationships, we outgrow things. That's okay. Maybe like you loved doing a hobby and now you just don't love it anymore because you've grown and you've changed. You're supposed to be growing and changing. That's part of being a person. But if you've changed, maybe your job needs to too, so that it still aligns with you. And the question you need to ask yourself here is, am I the same person that I was when I took the job? Because if you're not, that job might need to be updated. It's important that your job is an extension of who you are, so that you get to feel yourself and you get to feel good. And if you have changed, your job might need to as well. So do you want your boss's job? How would you feel if you were in exactly the same place 5 years' time from now? Would it feel like you were on the right path, or would it feel like you were on the wrong path? If it feels like that would take you down the wrong path, do the work now to avoid feeling disappointed and upset in the future. Number 2 is that you work in a toxic work environment or that you've lost faith and trust in the company. Now, a toxic work environment is basically anywhere where it is really hard, given the structure, organization, running of the company, for you to maintain your own mental, emotional, physical well-being. So traits of this can be things like really poor communication, no guidance, overworking you, no support, passive-aggressive communication. The list goes on. But if your company is making you feel small or unimportant in any way, if you feel like your morals are being violated, then trust that that means something and that you deserve better. Because your long-term emotional health is more important than the discomfort that you will have to go through in finding that next step or next career. Your long-term health is more important than temporary discomfort. On top of this, maybe you've lost trust in the company from them doing something like putting money and policies above people, or not respecting employees, or not giving employees what they need to have for a decent life. If you relate to any of that, then know that you deserve better and you deserve to work for a company that aligns with your values. So number 3 is that you're burnt out and you know that the situation isn't going to change anytime soon. So we all get stressed, right? We all have stressful days at work. That can be normal, but if you're working in an industry where stress is just imperative, it's part of the job, and you've decided that you don't want that anymore, you might want to be looking for a career change. So for example, say you're a doctor and you're like, yeah, I'm just done with 80-hour work weeks, or you don't want to be an accountant who 4 times a year has to ram in 120-hour weeks. Maybe being a salesperson who's on the road all the time is just too exhausting for you and you don't want to do that anymore. Now, maybe that worked for you when you were 22 and you had loads of energy, you were fine working long hours, but maybe things have changed now and you have different values. Like maybe you want to value not working more than 40 hours a week, having time on the weekends to spend with friends and family. That's okay. And it's important that your job allows you to live the kind of lifestyle that you really want. So if you're in an industry where you just know it doesn't align with the lifestyle that you want, it's gonna cause you stress and anxiety to be in that work environment because it doesn't align with the kind of life that you want. A career change might be the best option for you. Number 4 is that you avoid talking about your job in public or to other people because you don't feel like it represents who you really are. So do you dread the question at parties, oh, what do you do? And is your response sometimes something like, well, I do this, but I've always wanted to, ... Or, yeah, I mean, I do this in the weekday, but I guess it's kind of boring, so let's not talk about me. So if you're in a job that you feel doesn't represent who you truly are, it's likely that your job is unaligned with you and doesn't utilize your natural skills and talents. If you're in a job where you feel mediocre at what you do, where you don't feel confident inside or outside of work, and where you just don't look forward to going into work, know that you deserve better, and the answer lies in finding work that maximizes your natural talents and allows you to be yourself. Now, you might not even know what your natural talents are yet, and that's okay. Sometimes it takes time and guidance to discover them, but it's so important that you do and that you then maximize them in your career. Because if you can find work that uses your natural talents, you will be naturally better at what you do, you will naturally enjoy it more, and as a result, you'll feel more confident and you'll feel proud of what you do. The fifth and final sign is that you feel guilty about not feeling more grateful for the job you already have. I see this one all the time. Maybe your job looks great on paper, and compared to everyone else in the world, you think, well, I'm so lucky to have this job at all. I'm such a terrible person for being ungrateful about it and not loving it and not loving showing up to work. As a result, we feel really selfish. That selfishness makes us feel bad about ourselves, and so we just stay in this job that we're not happy in. But the truth is that you can be in a job that looks good on paper. You can be in a job that aligns with your values, where the people are nice, where the work is okay, the pay is okay. But if you feel unfulfilled there, if you don't love waking up in the mornings, if you feel unconfident in the work that you do and who you are because of it, then trust that feeling and know that you deserve better and that you're capable of more. And in fact, it's not selfish to find a career that you love, because you can think about it like this. If you are miserable turning up to work every day, you're going to have less energy, you're going to feel sick more, you're not going to have as much positivity to give to others, and as a result, you're just not going to have as much of you to help other people. But if you're in a job that you love, that uses your natural talents, that you're excited for, you're going to have more energy, you're going to be healthier physically and emotionally, you're going to have more to give to other people. And that is why you deserve to find something that you really love, that lets you shine, and it will benefit other people too. So if you feel guilty about not loving your job more, notice that that feeling is in you for a reason. Trust your gut and follow what's going to make you really happy. So in the workbook, there are in-depth questions to help you discover whether a career change really is right for you. And if you feel like it is, these are 4 steps that you should take before you quit your job, so that you leave in a way that is intentional and feels good to you. So the first step is to talk to neutral people who you trust. These could be friends, family, professionals, anyone. Journaling is also a useful tool here, but talking it out can be more useful. The reason why is because we don't think in words. We often think in just feelings and emotions and stuff like that. And we need to use words and full sentences to figure out how we really think and how we really feel. And a career change is a big deal. And so we need to talk it out before handing in our resignation without any plan. Be careful here, because if you talk to friends and family, sometimes they just want what's safest for you, and they might not want you to go through the discomfort of a career change that's going to bring you long-term fulfillment. So talk ideas out with them. Get their opinions if you want to, but trust your gut and make sure that you are also looking to talk with neutral, impartial people. It could be a professional, it could be someone who you know is going to be impartial, and talk to people who you're inspired by. Talk to someone who is where you would love to be in 5 years' time. Step number 2 is to make a plan. Please do not leave without a plan. I see this a lot of the time. People come to me in career coaching and they say, Mabel, I need to quit my job straight away. And I'm like, that's great, but career clarity takes time. So what I always say is that if you're thinking about a career change in the next minimum 6 months to a year, you need to be doing the intense work now, so that when you do want to leave that job, you have something else to go into and you have a plan. This isn't just about a job that's going to make you happy for a couple years. This is about the rest of your life. And so it does take time, and that's okay. So before you leave, explore what you want to do next. Learn about what you might want to do next. Learn about yourself. Get professional help. Make a plan. Don't leave without knowing what you want to do next, because it's going to cause you a lot of stress and anxiety. And when you're in panic mode, the mode of how am I going to pay the rent next month, you can't be in that long-term creative mode to figure out what you really want to do next. In Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we need to have that first level of food and shelter and protection before we can start doing the really fulfilling stuff. The third step is to ask yourself, how can I get the most out of this role while I'm still in it? So I know from personal experience that when you've mentally checked out from a job, it's exhausting and miserable to show up to it every day, even if you know you're going to be leaving in a month, 3 months, something like that. So ask yourself, what could be really valuable to still focus on in this job? What could I get out of this that would really help me? Maybe there are some soft skills, some communication skills that you'd love to focus on. Maybe there's one project going on in the company that you are excited about. What can you do to make the most of your time now while you're still in that job? And if in your current job you're really exhausted and tired, you come home and you're like, oh, I just have to put the TV on and just relax in front of that for 2 hours because I'm exhausted and tired and uninspired from the day. The fourth step is to do what you can to make the situation better right now. So career discovery takes time and it takes energy. And if we're exhausted from our current job, we're not going to have the energy to do it. So you need to really look at your calendar and say, how can I prioritize self-care and how can I make time to work on this? So maybe you need to set some really clear boundaries at work and say, look, this is too stressful for me. I can do this, but I can't do this. Or maybe you need to block out some time in the evening, say once a week, to really focus on career discovery. Do whatever you need to do to create time and energy for career discovery, because you deserve to have a career that excites you, that's fulfilling, that uses your natural talents, that you're excited to wake up to in the morning. So if you want help, my DMs are always open. I'm here to help. And whether this video taught you that you actually love your job and it's awesome and it's aligned with who you are and you feel fulfilled and you're excited about it, or whether it made you go, yeah, okay, now is the time. I've got to do the work. I've got to start figuring out how to find something that I really love. Either way, I hope that you prioritize creating a career that you love, that excites you, because it's a very big part of your life as a whole, and you deserve to have a life that is fulfilling, that makes you happy, and that you're excited to wake up for.